Mississippi Beer Reviews, Miller Lite. Miller Lite is the fourth best-selling beer in the world. Of course, the first and the second being Bud Light, then Budweiser. I'm not exactly sure what the third bestseller is, but Miller Lite is the fourth bestseller. Miller Lite is a very popular beer, very popular among your young college kids. But what a lot of people do not know is that Miller Lite was not actually invented by Miller. Miller had Miller High Life Light. Miller Lite used to be called just Light. Miller obtained this small brewery, kept the exact same formula, and just put Miller across it. Now, I'm going to try to move my webcam and I'm going to show you what it originally looked like. Alright, so y'all guys just bear with me. Right there. That is a old sign that held pool sticks. Now it holds a cowboy hat and two PlayStation Move controllers. But as you can see, this particular sign just says Light. Alright, it's from the 70s. It says Light, has a pool stick on it. I'm sorry about the lighting that's going on there. But anyway, that was given to me by a good buddy of mine. He somehow obtained it from a friend of his, if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, he didn't have room for it. He knew that I liked Miller Lite, so that's how I obtained it. I do have other Miller Lite paraphernalia items. This here, this is the punch top opener. If you buy a 12-pack of Miller Lite in the cans, you get one of these free. So I have several of them. Back when I was growing up, me and all my buddies would take our pocket knife and we would poke a hole in the can for better ventilation. So people's been doing that with all kinds of beer for many years. Miller finally put a patent on it and called it the punch top can. And if you'll look, there is a little tab right there for you to punch it. They originally said to do it with a key, but that did not work very well, and I guess they recognized it didn't work, so they come out with this. You can put it on your keychain. It has the punch top opener, and it has a bottle opener right there. There we go. There's a good shot of it, and there is the punch top. So, Miller Lite, it gets decent reviews by most beer judges. It actually won a couple medals at the beer festival for light beer in that category. And it gets a very good review by myself. As far as light beers are concerned, overall beer, it gets a D plus as far as overall beer. But in the light category, well, we're fixing to see. We're fixing to see, and I'm going to try to keep an open mind, everybody. We're fixing to see if my rating for this beer is true or not. We'll be using, once again, the same glass I just used in my last video. It says on the bottom here, it's Miller time. Well, it's Miller time, alright? Do the punch top there, lots of smoke coming out. Nice little sound there. There we go. Alright, let's give it a nice little pour. Ooh, now that's got a pretty thick head on it. Unlike most light American beers that I've seen, this one actually has a good frothy head, which most Miller products do. Most Miller products that I've ever reviewed or ever drank, they always have a nice thick head on them, which is what you want when you're drinking beer out of a glass. And the reason that I do it like this, I've said in a previous video, if you turn your glass sideways and you just let it run down the side, you are taking away from the head. And that's what we want. Give an honest review. You have to be able to taste the froth, as I call it. And while we're letting this settle down, let me just go out on a limb and let you know this. The Miller Lite is extremely popular. Like I said before, especially amongst like college kids, the younger generations. If you notice, a lot of older guys will drink your Bud Lights, and a lot of your younger guys will drink Miller Lite. Miller Lite is Miller Lite's popularity is ever growing. Miller Lite was the first light beer ever made, ever. Budweiser soon followed with Budweiser Light, which is now known as Bud Light. Coors Light followed along later on and so forth. But this was the first original light beer that was ever made. The biggest slogan that everybody remembers is great taste and less filling. I think now they're still doing the it's Miller time thing. So whenever Miller, saw this, they thought what a good opportunity that it would be to buy out this company. And a lot of times the way that it works is your big companies like Budweiser or Miller, they see all these small breweries and they go and they buy them out. And then they start marketing this beer under their name. Both Budweiser and Miller are notorious for it. And that's just the way that the business works. You will see Miller Lite right beside the Bud Light and Coors Light. It's priced almost identical. Of course, Miller Lite and Coors Light being completely identical for the simple fact that they are a partnership now between Coors and Miller. So their price points are going to be identical. And they're very similar beers too, matter of fact. Um, so if you ever get a chance, check that out. Alright guys, now I think we're fixing to just dive right in. Let's go ahead and give it the smell test. But for this to have not been made by Miller Brewing Company, it has that cooked vegetable smell just like High Life does. The look, very clear. I mean, extremely clear. A little bit of a golden tint to it. It's got a good frothy head on it. You can smell the corn in it. You can smell a little bit of hoppiness in there. So we're going to go ahead and give it a taste test here. Very light, very watery, very refreshing. Not as carbonated as a lot of other light beers that I drank in my life. It's very smooth, and it has a nice little hoppy aftertaste. When you first take a sip of it, it just tastes extremely light, extremely watery, but then it has a nice little beer aftertaste. It's like a beer cousin, I guess you would say. But we're going to try another sip. It kind of tastes like a mineral water. The aftertaste that you're getting, you can taste when you first take it down. It tastes like a mineral water. It's kind of light. Then the after bite that you get from it, you get some carbonation. You get the hops, the corn, And like I said, it's very, very refreshing. A hot summer day, that's the way to go. Um, a Miller Lite doesn't fill you up. It's only 98 calories, I believe, and 3.2 grams of carbohydrates. So you could actually drink a lot of Miller Lite without getting bloated and not being able to drink anymore. So if you're ever going to a bonfire, going to a barbecue, a football game, by the way, Miller Lite is the official beer of the Dallas Cowboys, hence sporting events. That is the way to go. You could kick back, drink you a whole case of those if that's what you're into. Me personally, I don't really drink like that. I enjoy like two beers, two or three, just to sit back. I always pour them in a glass and enjoy, watch a movie or something. But if you wanted to go to a big party or something and you wanted to just really, really drink, that would be the way to go. And it's very consistent. I've noticed with a lot of different beers, you can buy a beer here, a beer there, of the same exact brand, and occasionally they have a little bit of a different taste to them. Miller Lite is very, very consistent. It tastes the same no matter what. It always tastes the same. So, we're going to take one more sip here, and then I am going to give you my grades. Excuse me, like I said, it's very carbonated. It kind of has like a, when you first taste it, it don't taste that carbonated, but it comes back on you. All right, beer overall against any beer in the world, I give it a D. The reason I give it a D is because it's just too light and it's too watery, and it just really doesn't hold its own against like, say, a High Life or a Modelo or even a Dos Equis. Um, Now, based on what it is, a light American lager beer, I have to give it a B because I think that it is better than Bud Light. It's better than Coors Light. I just think that Miller Lite is the more dominant light beer in that category of American light beers. I think that it is just superior above all. And the reason that I say that it is superior above all is because it's light, but it's still beery. It still tastes like beer. And the quality is so consistent. I've drank Bud Lights and Coors Lights before to where, like I was saying a minute ago, you taste one, it tastes a little bit different than the other one, and they're the same beer. A little bit of inconsistency there. Miller Lite is always tastes the same. It tastes like a light beer, hence the word beer. It don't taste like water. It does have a little water aftertaste like all light beers do. So in this category, I give it a B. Overall, against all the beers in the world, I give it a D. It can't hold its own. But if you drink Bud Light or you drink Coors Light, try Miller Lite. You know, I don't care what your friends say, yada yada, whatever. Just try one. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, and I think that you will if you like light beer, then there you go. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to try a Miller Lite. I'm fixing to finish this beer and probably eat me a little bite of something. And I will see you guys later. Shoot me an email, bhicks51388 at gmail.com. Later, guys.